What's up, YouTube? I'm Brett from RANTS. As always, guys, if y'all enjoy our content, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below. We're on the road to 1,000. We hope you guys will help us get there. Alright, so just who is the villain of Wandavision? I'll admit, I thought I had it all figured out. I thought Wanda is the main villain, the main protagonist, and the main villain of what is transpiring around her. I thought, the questions on the radio, who is doing this to you, and all of this other stuff that we've been hearing, of course, all the references to S.H.I.E.L.D. I thought that this was probably going to have to do with Wanda in her grief, trying to bring back Vision under any cost necessary. I don't necessarily believe that anymore, though. I actually think that it has to do with her children. And I know, we can say, well, we haven't seen that she has any children in the MCU. But in the comics, she does. And we do know that these children will be playing a larger role in the MCU going forward. In fact, it's actually going to be a bridge into the X-Men appearing in the MCU. Let me just go back to the very first time that these children are referenced during this, and it's in episode 1. All these hijinks are going on. Everything is going wrong for Wanda and Vision in episode 1, but yet she keeps her cool. The only time that she loses her cool is when Miss Hart asks the question, why do y'all not have any children? Wanda freezes. Mr. Hart begins to choke. Miss Hart begins saying, just chanting over and over and over again, stop it, stop it, stop it. I think she's actually referring not to Mr. Hart, but to Wanda herself, saying stop it to Wanda. Another thing that caught my attention in episode 2 was when they kept saying the words, chanting at the magic show, it's for the children, it's for the children, it's for the children. That became the whole main reason for episode 2 in the whole magic show, even though that there's no children that ever appear during that whole episode. It was the neighbors keep chanting, it's for the children, it's for the children, it's for the children. Well, there's that, and then right before the magic show even occurs, there's that comment that Dottie makes, the devil's in the detail. And Agnes reiterates, that's not the only place he is. So that right there, to me, due to Wanda's history in the comics and her becoming pregnant at the end of the episode, and then immediately after she finds out that she's pregnant, they rush outside, and there's somebody coming from the underground trying to break in. Now, I actually think that this has a lot to do with the House of M, where Wanda becomes pregnant with Vision's child. These children are actually not through, normal means. They're actually from the shards of Mephisto's soul, who is basically the devil of the MCU. So, when Mephisto comes to collect his soul back and reunites it, the children disappear. Wanda goes crazy, or Scarlet Witch goes crazy, and she basically creates this alternate reality where she is trying to, her and her children are reunited as a family. Now, this is oddly similar to what is taking place on WandaVision. I actually think that I think Mephisto is going to play a huge role. I think just the references, everybody's like, well, the Beekeeper is this, minuscule villain off of MCU. I actually think that the bees flying around him are actually a reference to a real life reference. I think it's a Beelzebub. Where you see, I think he's Lord of the Flies or something along those lines. I actually think that is kind of a reference, him coming up from underneath the ground and looking ominously at her. Now and one can say, well, what's all the shield references? Maybe he has concocted some version or infiltrated shield as a means of making her think that they are the villains, or maybe it is him trying to get to these children that has caused her to get into this alternate reality. And not I say shield, but it's actually sword. But sword is actually trying to break in and try to try to find out exactly what's going on. But in her fear of trying to protect her children, she actually decides to to hide herself away from everyone, not trusting anyone at that point in time. Now we know that this happens in the comics in a lot of different ways, where she goes insane and she does a lot of terrible things in her attempt to deal with her own grief. The MCU really hasn't set up her as her powers quite as well as what they should have. That's why it's made this whole thing just a little bit more confusing than what it had to be. Scarlet Witch is a very powerful character. More powerful than any of the other Avengers combined. And so she can create a reality on her own using her powers. But also Mephisto can also he can also be in reality himself too. So this could all be just his way of trying to get these children, and her just trying to go through the reality that he created to save her children from him. And so that's the reason why they're constantly having to change decades and the setting, the way the house looks. The house didn't have stairs, and then all of a sudden in the second episode it had stairs. And so she's moving this world, even though it's taking place in this one neighborhood, is moving, it's changing. Everything is changing around them. She is having to basically flee within this world that maybe she created, or Mephisto created, or whoever created it. She's having to move within this world and change the circumstances around it to make sure that her children are protected. Now, we do know that her children grow up in this series, so it wouldn't be a stretch to believe that Mephisto is the main villain of it. If I had to guess, I would say yes, that is the route that they are going to go. And the sword agents are just there to help, but at this point, she's not trusting anyone. She's not letting any of those sword agents in because of that, either to protect them or to protect her. I believe that, it's either Mephisto's controlling this world. I believe that Agnes is some part of this, like she's some kind of magic user that maybe is in line with Mephisto. Or maybe is someone there to assist Wanda in her journey. I don't know. But we'll just have to see. But as always, guys, let me know what y'all think. Let me know if y'all think that if Mephisto is the main villain of this series, or if y'all actually believe that he has no role to play in it, and it's just S.H.I.E.L.D. and, Wanda trying to get Vision back. Let me know what y'all think. And as always, thanks for watching. Y'all take care.